We can store variable data into different types of variables. Each variable data type has its own unique characteristics and can be used for different things. In this lesson, we'll explore the following data types: string, integer, float, array, null, boolean. We'll explore the object data type in the next lesson. In our first example, we've declared a variable x and assigned the value hello world. This is an example of a string variable because the value is a sequence of characters. We can declare a string variable using single or double quotes. Variable x is enclosed in double quotes, and variable y is enclosed in single quotes. The value is identical and the output is also identical. We've used the echo statement to output the value of variable x and the value of variable y. We can see the output is the same. An integer data type is a non-decimal number. There are certain rules for an integer. An integer must have at least one digit. It cannot have a decimal point. It can be either positive or negative. And integers must be specified in one of three formats: decimal, hexadecimal, or octal. In this example, we've declared a variable called num as an integer with a value set to 6,000. Notice that the value is not enclosed in quotes. Integer variables do not require quotes. Next, we've used our var dump statement to output the data type and value. In our web browser, we can see the variable num is an integer with the value 6,000, just like what we specified. The next data type we have is a float, also known as a floating number point. A float is a number that is in exponential form or that contains a decimal point. In this example, we've declared variable num2 and assigned the value 20.565. Since the value contains a decimal, our var dump statement will output the data type as float. And this can be confirmed over here. We can see that num2, the num2 variable, is a float and the value is 20.565. An array variable can store multiple values. In this example, we've declared the variable sports as an array with 4 values assigned: soccer, tennis, baseball, and football. Using our var dump statement, we can output each value in the array. We'll be working a lot more with arrays later in this course, but for now you can see that with var dump, it specifies that the array size is equal to 4. We can see each index number in this array, 0, 1, 2, and 3, and its corresponding value. And the values are what was specified in our array. So if you find that confusing, don't worry, we will be working a lot more with arrays later on. The PHP null value is a data type that can only have one value, null. The null value type means the variable has no value assigned to it. We can also empty the value of an existing variable by setting the variable value to null. In this example, we have the variable color with the value assigned initially to blue. We can empty this value by setting the variable to null. So you can see that when we use the var dump statement, it outputs the value null because we've converted the value blue for the variable color into a null value. A Boolean variable can only hold 2 values, true or false. Booleans are used primarily in conditional statements such as if statements, else, and else if. We'll be exploring conditional statements later in this course, but as a general rule, the following values would be considered false. A Boolean that is set to false, as shown in this example, variable y is set to false, so the value of this Boolean would be false, as indicated here. And you can see variable x is set to true, so the value of this Boolean is true. The integer 0 would have a false value. The float 0.0 would also be false. An empty string, an array with 0 elements, a null variable, these would all be considered having a false value. With a couple of exceptions, almost any other value would be considered true.